So you're wondering why every negative thought or worry that you have is manifesting right away, but you can't seem to manifest the job that you want, the relationship that you want, the money that you want, the house that you want, the travel. You believe that you have resistance to things and nothing you want to happen is happening. Why is that happening? Do you have blocks? Do you have resistance? Or do you simply just need to persist in the assumption that you have what you want or that what you want is coming to you? We're going to be talking about blocks and resistance and persisting in this video. Hello. If you are new here, I'm V. My real name is Veda. Actually, I just say V because traveling abroad, a lot of people say my name wrong. So I just say V. So, hey guys, I'm V. If you are new to the channel, basically I talk about everything from mindset shifting, manifestation and spirituality, and the whole basic concepts of earth and other frequencies and dimensions, and how to create what you want, as well as traveling and remembering that we are spiritual beings here on earth experiencing a human experience. And what does that mean? That means that our life is a canvas, and whatever we decide to put on the canvas of our mind, we create. So if you're constantly thinking about negative things, you're just going to experience that in your world. This is what my channel is about. I want to empower you guys and remind you guys of the power that you hold, that you are the creator of your own reality. You are the artist painting on your own canvas. You get to create what you want in your life, whether that be perfect relationships, health, wealth, fame, abundance, traveling the world, creating the perfect job for you, creating your perfect partner, your dream life, whatever that is. You have the power to become whoever you want to. You can be whoever you want to be. You need to create it in your mind first and persist, and it will happen. Every great person down to the beginning of this earth will tell you that it all started with their own mindset. Even when everyone else told them that they couldn't do it, they persisted in their vision of what they wanted to create, and they were successful. And they are well known for becoming that person when they had nothing. How do we do that? Persisting when you have such a crap mindset and nothing's working out. Also, you're probably wondering why I'm holding this with a vlog stick, because the light keeps moving. And it's just, see, this is what, yeah. Also, before I get into this video, for everyone that has been following me for a while, we're going to talk a little bit about, I am back temporarily. I ended up hopping around, you guys. I was manifesting travel and it happened like the next day. I was not expecting it. So I kind of went MIA on my YouTube, and I was testing out a lot of new affirmations. What is going on with my hair right now? I've been testing out a lot of things. I've been testing out my own limitations, my own restrictions, because when we were born here, we pick up on our surroundings. So if you're born into a family that believes that everything is so hard and you have to work your ass off to get what you want, and life sucks and everything is terrible and people are just out for themselves or out to get you and the world is a bad place, and those are your assumptions placed upon you as a child, you grow up with that, you are just creating that. But you can change those dominant assumptions, because our dominant thoughts are what is projecting. Our reality is a leg of our dominant thought, basically. So if you want to change your reality, you need to change your thoughts and persist. And y'all should know that if you're on my channel. I don't need to go into the basics of manifestation. That is what it is. You change your thoughts, you change, your reality changes. But you need to stick to the new thought. So I was working with some things that I didn't believe were possible. Like just things, I know that everything is possible in regards to like everything, y'all. If you don't know my background, I've been a psychic medium since I was a kid. I've had experiences with other beings, other planes. I astral travel, and yeah, I've had a lot of like contact incidences and stuff like that. But sometimes your head gets stuck in the 3D and we forget that we're actually experiencing a human experience. So I wanted to really test myself with just using affirmations. which I do anyways, but I wanted to do something that I never even thought of. Like, for example, I'm staying in a luxury place. I said that one time and I ended up manifesting staying in a luxury place, probably one of the most luxurious places I've stayed in my life. That's where I was. And it also happened naturally. So I'm testing my own limits because everyone says, oh, your manifestation happens naturally. Like so naturally, you'll question if you created it because it happened naturally. But I've been working on just things happening out of the blue where I'm actually questioning my reality because I like being like, holy fuck, did that just happen? I like when things appear out of the blue. I like seeing things that look like they're magic, basically. And so I was testing this. Oh my goodness. I was staying in a place and it was pretty nice. And I was like, oh yeah, I love staying in luxury places. And I ended up getting moved to another place and it was very, very, very luxurious, you guys. I've never had this experience, like this luxury in my life. And all I did was because I didn't have any resistance to it. I just affirmed like a few times and it happened. We'll talk about resistance, like, oh, you need to work through your blocks. You need to do inner child work, especially coming from the spirituality community. People say that you need to work through your trauma to get what you want. And I was kind of stuck in that mentality for most of my life because I used to do Reiki and readings and stuff. And that whole community believes that, well, not the whole community, but it's a very common concept that you need to go back and do all this inner work to heal. And it's like a constant thing of working on yourself and healing and then going through something painful and healing. And it's just over and over and over. And I was stuck in that loop, but this really isn't true. Like you don't need to do all this inner work to see huge changes in your life. The thing is, what you focus on is what you are going to get. No matter what. So if you're focused on constantly healing, you're going to be constantly healing. So when does that end? When you decide that enough is enough. You're done healing. You're perfect. You're fucking perfect just the way you are. Why do you need to keep going back into the past? Like, let it go. The past is not real. This is actually supposed to be another video that I was going to make today. But the past is in your head. The only real moment is right now. And when something happens with a bunch of friends, for example, you're at a friend's house and you guys are talking about something that happened a long time ago. You guys will perceive the incident differently, okay? Everyone has different perceptions of things, and you can perceive the past incident a different way, and it shifts you onto a different timeline. So stop going back to the same situation. If you need to go back and look at it and heal from it, send it love, and that is it. Why are you re-experiencing pain that you don't need to experience? This is the whole resistance thing. Well, like the whole, what everyone else is talking about, resistance. Oh, you have resistance to something because you experienced all this trauma in the past and you just can't get through it and you need to go back and do the inner work. Well, your inner work could be looking at it from a different perspective. Like that is not you anymore. You're looking at a different person because that person is not the same person as you right now. There's two completely different people. You are just projecting your perception to gather the feeling and bring it back to the present moment now. So what I mean when I say resistance, I don't mean going back and doing all this inner work. When I say resistance or wavering, I mean it's when you're trying to create something and the thoughts in your mind are arguing against what you're saying. Okay, I'm not talking about doing inner child work or even looking back on past experiences. That can be a different video because really, you don't need to keep re-experiencing pain, you guys. I know a lot of people will tell you that, and I have had spiritual mentors myself tell me, oh, you need to keep working through it and talking about it and letting it out. And yes, it helps, but maybe 1 or 2 times, not a billion times, and you just keep re-experiencing the pain over and over again. You're not that person anymore. You've learned from it. You've grown from it. It's time to move on and focus on what you want, not what you don't want. You will shift timelines. There's an infinite amount of parallel realities. So whatever you focus on, you are constantly realigning to that parallel reality with your focus. So if you are constantly focused on good things happening, you're going to keep realigning to the reality where good things happen to you. If you're constantly focused about the past, you're going to be still on that timeline, creating more of what you don't want to happen, or more experiences to heal yourself and learn and grow from. But at the end of the day, everything is just an experience. You are the one putting the perspective on it. So even if you think something is negative, always look at everything from a positive point of view, and you will be able to see why it happened and learn from it. Anyways, so I've been bouncing around a bit because I have so much to talk about and I've been gone for a while. But, resistance. So when I talk about resistance, I mean you're wavering in your head. So you're affirming for something, but you keep checking the 3D. So when you are checking your phone, or you're checking the mail constantly waiting for your money to come in, or you keep checking up on someone that you want to be your future partner, seeing what they're doing, and you're letting that bother your emotion because, maybe they're seeing someone else and you really like this person, or the job that you want, someone just got hired and you're not able to get that job, whatever it is. And you keep checking and letting that bother you. You are creating that. So, because remember, this 3D is a leg of our thoughts. So when you hold on to the thought that you're thinking of that you want to create, and you stay firm and persist in that thought, your reality has to conform to that thought, no matter what it is. Whether it's good or bad, you like it or you don't like it, that's what your reality will output, because that is the universal law. That is how things work. We're basically living in a video game. Elon Musk will even tell you that. He has said that many times. This is a high-tech simulated reality. How do you control what you want? With your mind and your focus. And you will reroute yourself onto the timeline that has it. That's how you play the game with your mind, okay? So you need to persist no matter what, even if it's really shitty. And this is where I'm going to start talking about my experiences the past 2 weeks. So I ended up moving somewhere. Well, I thought I was visiting. Then I ended up thinking I was moving there for a month. Then I ended up moving back. And now I'm moving somewhere across the world again. So I've been bouncing around. I love that. It all happened super fast just by me randomly affirming for things, because I didn't have plans to do anything, and I just started affirming for it. And it all happened within a week, really unexpectedly. And it was all a luxury experience too. So that was pretty cool. It seemed as it had happened naturally, but that is what manifesting is, where our thoughts are creating our reality. So when you change your dominant thought to something, or you're just affirming for something where you don't have any resistance, aka you don't have a thought to think against it, and it's just the dominant thought, then it's gonna happen. Nothing can stop it. It's a little dusty in here. I haven't been in here for a long time. And I don't know, this might be the last video I do here, because I'm going somewhere crazy, y'all. I'm going somewhere crazy, and I can't wait to take you with me. We're gonna talk about how I manifested where I'm going in the next few videos. So I've been really pushing myself to affirm for crazy things, because I like that. I like to prove myself right, I guess. I've been working on all of my beliefs, okay? For everything, like manifesting things out of thin air, instantaneous reality shifts, like things where you need to kind of reprogram your mind and affirm and persist to experience. For example, the place I was staying at didn't have a blender. It did not. The person I was with searched the place, so did I, and I really wanted a blender because I love my protein smoothies. I have them multiple times a day. I'm kind of like a fitness supplement junkie, like a protein powder junkie, okay? And pre-workout. I need protein powder, creatine, and pre-workout. That's like, I need those daily, okay? So for me not to have a shake for a few weeks was a little crazy, and I was not mixing protein powder and water. I don't do that. I hate that. I need it in a smoothie bowl, okay? I'm just one of those girls. I love the smoothie bowls. And I was like, no way that there is not a blender in here. There is gonna be a blender in here. So I there was actually not a blender in there. Searched everything twice, and while I was searching, I just kept saying, there's a blender in here, there's a blender in here. Isn't that awesome? There's a blender in here, there's a blender in here. I know there's a blender in here somewhere. Someone will find it. I know there is a blender in here somewhere. And my head was like, you're kind of crazy, girl. Like, there's no blender. You looked 3 times, the other person looked. The lady didn't say that there was a blender there who was renting out this luxury suite. So do you know what I did? I just kept affirming that there was a freaking blender in there. And then I went for a walk, forgot about it, but the last time I thought about it, in my head, I had said, there is a blender. Totally forgot about it, came back. I was going through the cupboards because I wanted to cook eggs, and there was a pan, and inside the pan was this massive blender. It was not there. I swear to God, it was not there before. And I was like, holy shit, like, that is cool, because I've tried doing these things before, but then I get up in my head and I'm like, nah, it's just too difficult, so I give up. Don't give up. Prove to yourself how fucking powerful you are. That's why I like the ladder technique for newbies or people who don't even believe in the law, because who cares if you manifest a ladder, right? So you don't have resistance to it. That's why it works so easy, because you don't have a thought in your head thinking like, oh, that's impossible that I'm gonna see a ladder. No, your mind is just like, okay, well, let's output a ladder because you kept saying it. And there's the ladder, no resistance. That is what I did with the smoothie maker, the blender. That is what I did with the blender. I just kept persisting and flipping my thoughts saying, yep, there's a blender in here. Yep, there's a blender in here. Another thing that happened, ice. There was no ice in there. The ice tray was completely empty. And I did the same thing. And then I forgot about it. Came back, and I was really persisting on this. I didn't actually forget about it. I meant like I just switched my thought for a little bit, but I was persisting. There's ice, there's ice, there's ice. I love that there's ice. There's ice, there's ice. I love that there's ice. Oh my God, it's so amazing that there's ice and I can make my smoothie. This was a different day, by the way, because I had used up the ice and there was no ice. And I just kept repeating it like a freaking crazy person. I went outside and I don't know what I was doing. I can't remember what I was doing. Came back and it was there. There was a bag of ice in there, okay? Like, you just need to persist. So this is what I've been working on, is like manifesting things where I'm like, that's not possible. But I know it is possible because this is a simulated reality. This is literally like every single second, nanosecond, it's even less than that. We are flipping into realities, but it happens so fast that you can't see a difference unless you're paying attention. Or unless you do a huge shift where you persist that something is different and you see it. When you really get working with manifestation and persisting in things, or if you're spiritual as well, or a psychic medium, etc., you will see shifts happen before your eyes. And it's a little crazy, but this is how our universe works. This is how Earth works. I don't know about the universe. This is how Earth works. When you tell your mind you want something or you have something, it has to show it to you no matter what. And the reason some things take a long time is because of your own thoughts. Sometimes things are instant because you have no resistance to it. And I'm going to keep saying, when I say resistance, I mean it's your dominant thought in your head speaking against it, because it's your dominant thought that is outputting. The dominant thought outputs. And how do you create a dominant thought? Affirmations or visualizations, or even just feeling happy. You can use feeling. You can do all of these different techniques that you want, but at the end of the day, it is impressing your mind with what you want. Because when you just affirm something, it creates a picture in your mind, whether you are aware of that or not. Affirming or feeling a certain way creates an image in your mind. And when you keep persisting in that, that image outputs. It's like a computer system. It basically is. This is the monitor, our world. This is the programming system. This is the computer system. You program the computer, which outputs onto the monitor. Okay? Your thoughts program the computer, the subconscious mind, and it outputs onto the monitor, the 3D reality. Also, normally I don't believe in my manifestations or thoughts, I just keep repeating it. This one I didn't even think was possible because I had no idea where I was going to get all these checks from, but I kept saying I receive random checks in the mail. I always receive random checks in the mail. Isn't it wonderful? I receive random checks in the mail. I don't even know where they're coming from. I'm always receiving unexpected amounts of money. I got 4 checks in the mail, was it like a few days later, all at once, all from years ago, from like 4 or 5 years ago. This is what happens sometimes when you're manifesting, is that it won't happen exactly the way you want. Sometimes it'll just happen like really randomly. For example, my mom randomly brought 5 checks to me from years ago that she randomly found. She's like, oh, here are all your checks that you need to deposit. There, I just found them. I don't know why I had them. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I was affirming, I always get unexpected checks in the mail. I always get unexpected checks. I always get random mail with money. And I just kept repeating it, and it happened like that. It didn't come into the mail. My mom somehow had my mail from years ago, which is really weird. I don't know how that happened, but it ended up happening, and I got a lot of checks in the mail. I'm actually going to insert a picture. So I had a check from the government, I had a check from an old workplace, I had a check from an old phone bill, and I had a check from school or something. Yeah, it was really weird. So you guys pick an affirmation and keep freaking affirming it and don't think against it, and you'll see it'll just happen. And this is why I like the random ones, because I don't know, I don't have any resistance, and it's fun to remind yourself of how freaking powerful you are. The reason why you aren't getting what you want is what I'm, from the beginning of what I was talking about, the introductory to the video, is because when you check the 3D, for example, the company that you want to work at was hiring and they declined you, but you really wanted to work there. Ignore that. Tell yourself, no, that's in a different reality. I got the job. Keep telling yourself you have the job, no matter what you see, because circumstances don't matter. Everyone will tell you that. Circumstances don't matter. Circumstances do not matter. Circumstances are a leg of your old timeline, okay? You can move to a different timeline, to a different version of you that has what you want. Persist, 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 even when it is hard. And I'm going to throw in another example from this weekend. I went through a really, really tough incident, and I was crying, and I kind of let my thoughts spiral for a little bit, and I got really upset. And it's okay to spiral. We're human. Cry it out, let it out. But don't let your mind go rampant with negative thoughts. Catch it as soon as you can. That's what I did. I had my eyelashes done a few weeks ago. I'm standing in the bathroom, crying, sniffling, using a Q-tip to dab my eyelashes. And I'm like, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. Everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Everything in my life is so perfect. Isn't it wonderful? And I'm fucking crying so hard. I had snot coming out of my nose. And I'm just like, everything is fine. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. And it was in regards to some people. It just, I don't know, just some like toxic stuff. And I didn't really have any other choice except to control my thoughts and change my perspective. That was like my only way out at this point. And I just kept saying, no, I am loved, I am appreciated, and everything in my life is perfect. I am loved, I am appreciated, everything in my life is perfect. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Everything in my life is so perfect. Everyone treats me how I want to be treated. Everything is so wonderful. And I finally stopped crying. I got out of the bathroom, and it was like I stepped into a whole new world. Nothing that had happened before was brought up again. I was being treated with so much respect and love. And yeah, it was like total personality switch over completely. And then something again later that day happened that was that kind of, sometimes things will happen because you're like in between realities and your mind is like kind of going back to the dominant reality or timeline, but you need to persist that everything is perfect so you can keep moving on here. That's all you need to do, is just keep persisting in your thought no matter what you see. That is how you move over timelines. And that is what I did. I just kept persisting, and yes, it's hard. Sometimes it is hard. We have those moments where it's hard, but you need to control your mind. Don't let your reality control you. You are the controller and creator of your reality. Remember that. And the reason why sometimes things are so hard is because you have had that dominant assumption probably since you've been born. So if you've been thinking a certain way for most of your life, it might take a little bit of persisting to do. But you can do it. All you need to do is persist. Keep doing it. Consistency. That's with anything and everything. Consistency and persisting through it, no matter what. That's it. You can have what the hell you want to have. You can create what you want to create. And that is all I wanted to say for this video. Persist, 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 no matter what. That is what you need to do. Discipline your mind. Control your thoughts. Do not let your thoughts control you. And with that being said, if you found this helpful in any way, please give it a like. Share down below your own experiences with manifesting things out of thin air like that. I love the manifesting things out of thin air, or, you know, you step out of the bathroom and things are magically different. I love the magical things to life, because why not? Why not create a magical, exciting, fulfilling life? That is the whole purpose of life. Excitement, fun, fulfillment, joy, being a child again, just enjoying being here, having this human experience. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the family. We would love if you joined. And I have packages, manifestation, mindset, also spirituality, dreams, etc. All of that listed down below. My Patreon is still on hold because I want to switch it over to the YouTube membership. So I'm just waiting on that so we can do lives on the YouTube app instead of Patreon, because I don't really like the setup. And honestly, you guys, it took me like a day and a half to upload videos. It was just taking too long. However, I still have all my old videos on Patreon. So if you can't wait, just subscribe to get the old videos on Patreon. Otherwise, I will be moving all those old videos over onto the YouTube membership soon. That is all I have to say today. Have a fantastic day, noon, evening, life. Have a wonderful time here on earth, creating, manifesting your dreams, going after whatever it is that you want, because you are worthy and you are capable, and hell yeah, you're deserving of having whatever the heck you want. You are. And hey, if no one told you today, I love you so much. Mwah. Peace and love.